In this video, I'm going to talk you through all the most popular air fryer accessories and show you how they're used. I'll tell you which ones are worth bothering with and which ones will just end up taking up room in your cupboard. Over the last 2.5 years, I've reviewed and cooked in dozens of air fryers, and this video is an updated and more detailed version of my original accessories video, which has been watched by 300,000 people. So let's start with the two essentials that I think every air fryer owner needs, which are firstly a pair of silicone tipped tongs to ensure that you don't damage the non-stick coating of your drawer when you lift food in and out, and secondly an oil spray bottle. Now you do use an awful lot less oil with an air fryer, but there are still going to be some dishes where you're going to want to add a small amount of oil to enhance crispiness. You could either do this with a silicone brush or my preferred option, which is spraying it with a bottle. Now you want to avoid the pre-filled shop bought oil sprays that you can buy because they contain an emulsifier called lecithin, which bakes onto the non-stick surface when it's heated and damages the coating. So instead, just buy an empty bottle and fill it with your choice of oil. I've used lots of different bottles over the last couple of years, and the one that I have homed in on as a good solution is this particular one. It works as both a drizzler and a spray, and it's a glass bottle. Next, it's liners. There are two types available, one's made from silicone and one's made from parchment paper. Let's start with the silicone. Now, whilst these are a hugely popular choice for new air fryer owners, I personally don't think that they are the best option. The reason is silicone is a poor conductor of heat. In fact, you're going to see later in this video that silicone is actually used to make oven gloves. So when you put food inside a silicone liner, you are preventing the hot air from effectively circulating around the drawer of your air fryer, particularly so if you're putting something dense in there, like a shepherd's pie or a cake. It's going to lengthen the cooking times and potentially lead to a soggy bottom on things that you want to have a crisp bottom on. So instead, if you want to use liners, I personally recommend paper ones. Like the silicone liners, you can get ones which have sides or ones which are flat and perforated. Now, the only downside of baking paper over silicone is it's lightweight, so it can blow around if you put it in the air fryer while it's running on its own. So to keep those parchment paper liners weighed down, you can either put food on them or place them underneath the crisper plate, which will keep the main drawer clean, but you'll still have to wash up the crisper plate. Or you can place it on top of the crisper plate and use these magnets to hold it in place on the side. One thing that really helps when you move from cooking in a conventional oven to cooking in an air fryer is having a temperature probe. It just takes all the guesswork out of cooking meat or fish, and it gives you that reassurance that whatever you're cooking is cooked through. Some air fryers, like the Ninja AF451 or the Grill air fryer, have built-in temperature probe already. But if you don't have one of those, you can just buy one and then have the option of using it on your barbecue or in your oven as well. And if you want to be flash, there are also meat probes which connect wirelessly to a dock so that you can remotely monitor the temperature of whatever you're cooking. And ones like this will even monitor the temperature of several different joints of meat, which is particularly good if you're doing a barbecue. So I've got lots more to show you, but first, if you are new to this channel and you've found this video helpful so far, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money to subscribe to this channel, but it will just allow you to find my videos more easily next time when you're looking for advice about home appliances. On to air fryer converters. Most people who are new to air fryers find it a little bit tricky at first to get timings and temperatures right for dishes that they've previously cooked in a conventional oven. And I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can get around this. First of all, if you like to have everything handy on your phone, there are of course a lot of free converter apps. And the one I've tried is literally called Air Fryer app. And it has a simple control where you can select the time and the temperature that you would normally use. And then it shows you the adjusted air fryer settings. If you don't want to be having to refer to your phone all of the time, you can have a fridge magnet instead with the popular time and temperatures on it. There are lots of different options for these. You can usually get something for about £5 or less than $10, and you just stick it on the side of your fridge and then you've got it for easy reference, whatever you're cooking. The next option is this, which has been a recent discovery for me. It's a tempered glass worktop saver, which is heat-proof and lists the times and temperatures for a range of popular air fryer foods. You can also use it as a chopping board, but because it's glass, I would say to only use it with a table knife for cutting soft things. Otherwise, there is a risk that it's going to blunt your knives. Our one of these is out all of the time on the kitchen worktop, and like the magnet, it's very easy to refer to quickly if you want to. Now, related to this, I get a few inquiries about heat-proof mats for air fryers. Now, personally, I have never needed to use one with any of the air fryers which I've tested in my kitchen, which is to say that generally air fryers don't get very hot on the bottom. But I haven't tested all the air fryers in the world yet, and I don't know what your kitchen surface is like. So if this is something that's concerning you, you can buy heat resistant mats, and they're very similar to the ones which often are included with hair straighteners. They're just a little bit bigger. This one has got silicone dots on the reverse to stop it sliding around, and then felt on the top, which makes it easy to move the air fryer across the surface. This particular one, which I will link below, fits all of the air fryers that I have at the moment, with the exception of the Cuisinart, which is significantly deeper front to back. Racks are another popular purchase for new air fryer owners. These can be a little bit hit and miss depending on whether you have one which is specifically made for your particular model of air fryer, or whether it's a third-party one which loosely fits several models. I have this one for my Cookware Turbo Tower, which was supplied with the air fryer. It fits the drawer perfectly and it has a big enough surface area to be useful. But if you have something like the Ninja AF400, you will often find that the racks for that model are the same racks that are sold by third-party sellers for the AF300, which is a smaller air fryer. So you end up with a lot of wasted space in the drawer and actually very little useful extra space on the second level. When it comes to cookware and tins to use in your air fryer, you probably have some options at home in your cupboards already. So don't buy anything until you've seen what you have already that actually works. If it's oven proof, it's also going to be air fryer safe. I have 3 types of pans that I use regularly in my air fryer. First of all, these enamel dishes, which are great for freezing individual kids' meals in. Then these aluminium takeaway style tins, which again are great for batch cooking, but for doing slightly larger portions or containing saucy dishes. But my all-time favourite tins are these 6-inch square tins, which fit every air fryer I have tested except one, which is the AF300, the smaller Ninja dual drawer. I have used these tins for absolutely everything over the last couple of years. Roasted tomatoes, brownie, I've done bread and butter pudding in them. I've even cooked sausages in them if I want to keep the drawer clean. I've had these 2 for 2 years and they still look as good as new. Of course, if you do choose to use tins in your air fryer, you can't remove them with silicone tongs. So you're going to have to find some way of getting them out of the drawer easily. Some people use a strip of tin foil underneath the tin to create a way to lift it out. But you can also get lifters made specifically for the job. They work best on pans or dishes with a little bit of a lip on them. I don't use mine every day, but there are occasions when this tool and only this tool will do the job, and even my husband uses it. Your other option is to get some silicone air fryer gloves. These are less bulky than the fabric ones that you probably have for your oven, so they're easier to get into tight spaces. We must also talk about air fryer books. There are a lot of options online which appear to be made specifically for your air fryer, but unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of, most of, maybe all of these are actually written by AI, not customized for your model of air fryer or even for the UK market, and the recipes often haven't been tested either. And if I sound like I've got a bit of an axe to grind about this, I really do, because the same thing happens on YouTube where people are making videos with AI about appliances that they've never even used. So please support the real authors of real recipe books. I will leave a link to some of the best options in the description below. There's one other thing to mention, which is air fryer cleaners. There are so many options available of cleaners which are marketed as being for air fryers. A few months ago, I tested some of them out on the metal area around the heating element of my Cookware dual drawer. Now, technically these cleaners are actually made for the non-stick surface, but I wanted to try it out on that metal area because I know a lot of people were curious to know the results. The results were that they were extremely corrosive and they left my air fryer in a little bit of a state. My advice is to avoid the off-the-shelf cleaners and stick to using what the manufacturers recommend, which I tested and worked brilliantly, which is baking soda and water. So I hope you found that helpful. If you're watching this on a TV, scan the QR code which is appearing on screen at the moment for a full list of recommendations, and I'll also drop links in the description below.